Okay, so I'm watching Viking preparedness, and he just said something that made me have to say this, which is he was talking about you should be able to just run out of your house and live for a couple of days with what's in your EDC, and start talking about bushcraft and whatever. I'm like, okay, let's back up. If I was fucking naked and it was not freezing fucking cold. When I say freezing cold, I mean like anywhere below 50 degrees and start getting real uncomfortable naked. Okay. For 2 days, you don't need bushcraft and shit. You just don't. It's just gonna suck. Okay? Is it cold? If it's cold, then you might need a fire. You might need like a shelter. That's where like some bushcraft stuff would come in. I guess that's what he's getting at, but like most places you can find some sort of shelter and you have the clothes on your body and boots. My encouragement to you would be to carry yourself in such a way that like, hey, I have combat boots and a good set of pants on and a hoodie. As long as it's, not snowing outside, I'm pretty much good. For, up to like a week or so. Like, this is the other thing, is most people don't get that, oh, I'm hungry, oh, I'm thirsty, oh, I'm whatever. Fuck you. I've gone an entire month without eating before just to prove it to myself that I could. Most of you are just fucking coddled. You're used to being fed all the time. Stay hungry. My encouragement to you. And stay well hydrated with margaritas. God, that's good. We eat too much. A. B. There's something about staying hungry, living hungry, that makes you more of a wild animal, like you're surviving. This is like, they don't like this in modern society. That's why they feed us so much. It's like we're cattle, right? They don't want people becoming bulls. They'd rather cut your balls off and keep you well fed. Welcome to society. I think people start going feral when they start getting hungry. Especially for extended periods. I know I definitely do. You can start acting increasingly crazy. That's a thing. You should know that. This is part of why I do the things that I do. I want to know what my limits are, what's going to happen to me if I didn't have food, and yada yada yada. Like, I started testing myself with fasting in high school. You gotta go further. You gotta go farther. Eat less. Last longer. Endure. That's, why are we all fat? I know. For about a billion fucking years, we didn't have very much food. And we're overdeveloped to use up fucking shit that we got. And the food that we're getting isn't as good for us as food, that's grown naturally, basically. So that makes us a little fat. And there's a various, stacking of things that cause us to be fat. And they're all from living in a modern society. This is where, my plan to lose more weight is moving to Alaska. Live in a small cabin, chopping wood and shit. I need to be more active, and I need to be in a colder climate. That's pretty much what I've decided for myself. So, that's half of the, wanting to move to Alaska. The other thought is, fuck it, let's go live on a beach and drink ourselves to death. Which, that's an option too. Wasted away again in Margaritaville. I do make a mean margarita. I mix and tequila and ice and salt better than anybody. Trying to think of where we want this to go next and what we were even fucking talking about, because really I kind of lost myself while drinking. Might as well drink more. Viking preparedness video is about not buying your way out of this. It's a good topic. And as far as the EDC shit goes, I really agree with him, I guess. It's just like the way he said it, like, it made me think of this. I do that a lot with videos that, like, I'm not mad at anyone or whatever. I'm just, they said something and it made me think a thing. And the thing it made me think is have really warm boots and a way to start fire. And you're good most places. Like, you don't even need really good boots, really. Just, I hate walking barefoot. Like, I grew up running barefoot a lot. I walk around barefoot plenty now. Boots are superior. Cody Lundeen is a fucking moron when it comes to that. Like, I get his thought of don't get reliant on shoes. And I think he is a good, like, experimental archaeologist kind of person in that. Like, that's kind of why he's doing what he's doing. I respect it. I am much more comfortable in shoes. For various reasons. And it's because my feet aren't strong. I get that. But, like, I don't know how I would make my feet as strong as Cody's anytime in the near future. So, like, boots are a much quicker solution. And, like, I guess, well, you should just throw your boots away. Seems like a real bad idea for me. I think it's one of those that, like, if you were going to do that, you should have just never worn shoes. And I don't think that's right. I think shoes are like gloves or coats or anything else. Like, it's an important thing. Like, it wasn't an important thing, in the fucking Mexican desert or wherever Cody Lundeen's fucking people he studies come from. But, you know why? It didn't get fucking cold there. It's one of those, like, yeah, it might get a little chilly in the desert or whatever, and you might own a pair of shoes. Go look in fucking Norway and see how many shoes people had. Okay? I bet you that there were some Norwegian motherfuckers, the houses looked like mine. They had a whole bunch of guns, a whole bunch of boots, and a whole bunch of backpacks and coats and shit. And I know this because I heard James Yeager talk about this shit. And when he said it, I was like, yeah, we do have that in common. We have this preoccupation with shit that would be handy when you're walking yourself to death in the cold being shot at by people. It's that shit that makes me think that James Yeager might have also been fucking with Napoleon and that shit in the retreat from Russia. Like, I've told people I had dreams when I was a kid that were just vivid and lasted hours. It was like I was living days of another person's life. And I was a French soldier in the retreat from Russia. And I think that's half of where my obsession with boots and backpacks and rifles comes from. And I'd really like to talk to James Yeager about his dreams Really? That was a missed opportunity. Like, when he said that, I would just hit home. Like, everything for me in my whole life has always been like, I'm obsessed with footwear and backpacks and rifles. A few other things too, like, I always liked animals. I was never a car person. I'm becoming a car person now because I basically see that I need some sort of transportation and there's not anything better. I need to work on that, really. Like, I should build a vehicle for myself to drive. I don't know how I would power it. I'd like to power it off of, like, liberal tears. You really can't buy your way into preparedness. Like, money helps. But, like, if you look at me versus some of the fucking billionaires I know that are preppers, I'm going to last longer than them. They've made themselves quite the target. You know? I talk shit on the internet, but I kind of figure, like, who gives a fuck? We're all fucking dead anyway, and, like, you know? Achilles only wanted people to remember his name. And my hope is that just a few of you remember me the way that I remember fucking Shall Not Be Infringed Mike or Nuttin' Fancy or fucking any of the rest of these people, man. I like that I have some fans, it would seem. Thank you guys for watching my shit. And I think the real truth of this is all of the preppers are morons. Like, it's handy to have all that shit. And definitely, like, people who have become preppers in the last few years, I think you're just sensible. Sensible. I'm myself am amongst you. But to you guys that were preppers 20 years ago, if you have a ranch someplace with fucking livestock and whatever at this point, and are going, hey man, like, you guys in your society, you're on your own, we're up here in fucking the free America, then yeah, you have room to talk. But everybody else, like, even really, like, never enough ammo, like, he is very, very prepared. But he's very prepared in the way of, like, I'm prepared for a siege. I have preps for beyond the siege that are like 2 cans of vegetable garden seeds, some gardening tools, having gardened before, having neighbors that are like horticulturalists basically, and having a fully operational blacksmith shop. Those factors, I think, make me better able to endure than a lot of people. Because we're going to be able to kind of make our own shit and grow our own food and whatever. Just sit here and be peasants and let the world go by. We're going to be hobbits. Well, they are. They're going to be hobbits and I'm going to be hiding in the fucking back. Because I ain't no fucking hobbit. Like, that's the real takeaway from a lot of my shit anyways. Like, you need to figure out who you are and you need to be that. If you are a hobbit, you're going to survive longer as a hobbit. If you're a fucking, like, wizard, get good with God. If you're a man, I don't know what to tell you. I don't really think there's many orcs here, although there may be. I don't know. Some of the, like, shit that pops up amongst the wokeness really seems like demons. And I know we have freedom of religion, but at the same time, I also kind of think if you freely and openly worship Satan, bad shit happens to you. So, I don't know. I'm bracing for impact. as such, my EDC is up, but also as such, I think training to endure without, training to exist without, training to do with less, learning how to make stone tools to get things done in the woods, learning how cavemen did things. Not because you want to go live as a caveman, but because, like, hey, what if all you've got is a flint chip and a fucking Victorinox? Those are the limitations of your toolkit. Might it be handy to know what you can do with the flint chip? Or, like, techniques that they used for various things. Like, knowledge is power, I guess, when it comes to the ability to exist without nothing. But I think also the ability to just sit there and suffer. I guess that's beyond a lot of people. Like, I don't know, maybe other people are just fucking weak and die? I don't think that's the case. I think that they lie to you and tell you that you can't take shit, when in reality, anyone can take it. It's just to what level does your fucking mind deteriorate? And, like, you need to be good at fucking holding it together, and you need to be good at picking it back up, because you're gonna lose it. I'm telling you, fucking from experience, with some of the shit that we're gonna be going through, you're gonna lose it from starvation and whatever. I've been, like, torturing myself for a couple of years now, just to get to the point where, like, thought I might make it through some of this shit. And, you know, a lot of weed helps the torture, I guess. That's where I'm at. And margaritas, you know. I have no idea what I'm going to call this video. I like Viking preparedness. Go check him out. See you fuckers later.